Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Thank you to all the speakers. I fortunately have seen that we have got quite a number of questions, so our Q&A session will have enough topics to discuss. So let's start with the first one, which goes to Stefan Meerwald. The first question is, are we going to ensure FMEA is applied between Safe API and the hardware?
Yes, the question is a bit tricky. It says, are we going to ensure FMA? So who in this context is we? If we is the concept team, or in a wider sense, the one of the AUTOSAR bodies, like a working group safety or not, then the answer is definitely no. We do not serve FMA. So let's have a look at the suppliers that use the Kronos SICL interface and extend it by their own needs. They have to provide the API in its defined ASIL. So and for this reason, they have to follow the development steps of the ISO 26262. This does not necessarily imply that you have to do an FMEA. And the same would also apply to those who provide the hardware itself and the associated drivers that belong to the hardware. They also have to provide a certain level, and how they do it, FMEA, fate molar and effect analysis, that could be an option that they use to get their hardware safe. But this is also not standardized by AUTOSAR itself. So I hope this answers your question. FMEA is an issue of safe development, but it is not requested by the concept or any AUTOSAR document. I hope this answers your question to this degree. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefan. I think it was not the full answer, so probably we get an additional question later on. So next question goes to Thomas Rüping. Also, what is the biggest challenge for a classic platform and adaptive platform to coexist at present? And the second question directly linked to it, how AUTOSAR is currently dealing with it or will tackle it?
Hopefully this is already a little bit clear from my presentation. Yeah? So for me, I see the biggest challenge really for the AUTOSAR adaptive platform. As I mentioned, in the software-defined vehicle world, we have many players, or many activities that are not very much, how can I say, coordinated or aligned. And to find at the end a place for AUTOSAR in this software-defined vehicle ecosystem, that's the challenge. But as I explained already, we have a bundle of measures, and for me the key is really the collaboration with other organizations and to align here the strategies.
Thank you, Thomas. And next question goes again to Stefan. Can we uplift StbM to be ASILB to achieve the safe time calculation?
Again, sorry for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the intention of this concept is exactly this: to use the STM provided value in ASILB quality. But for this reason, we need an ASILB step which is added. So we use the provision of the safe time by using two steps. The first step is the QM StbM to provide the value, and the second is the validation in ASILB. And together, this is a way to provide the StbM time value in ASILB. But the StbM itself remains QM. So there is no, that is the idea, no idea to uplift the StbM itself to ASILB. hope that explains the difference between uplifting and using StbM for ASILB.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Stefan. And I think the next questions also are going to you. Next points are also about StbM. Integration with Ethernet network. How is StbM integrated with an Ethernet network for delivering global time information to applications? So the question is, how is StbM integrated with an Ethernet network for delivering global time information to applications?
So
I don't get
the answer.
Okay.
We have for different networks, different time sync modules implementing the detailed time sync protocol. So for Ethernet, it's GPTP plus an AUTOSAR extension, an automotive tailoring of the complete GPT protocol. For example, we don't have the Grandmaster clock feature or something used. And finally, it's then GPTP Ethernet frames. So they're standardized by IEEE reserved, and they're not using UDP or TCP. It's really raw Ethernet frames. And we just, at least in the classic platform, use them directly from the Ethernet interface. We have the time sync drivers. We have the StbM, which delivers then the timing information really to the application. So, and
thank you, Oliver.
Time sync. Welcome.
Thank you, Oliver. And it's great that we have so many experts here, so we can really answer very well and complement each other. So the next question also goes to Stefan. Are there specific protocols or standards within the Ethernet framework that StbM utilizes for this purpose? I think to some extent it was already addressed by Oliver. Oh, technical issue.
So, but maybe I can also try to give
something is with the microphone. Oliver, can you take over?
Yeah, I tried to take over meanwhile. So I think we already gave the answer. So it's this IEEE GPTP protocol, which is the main format we are using for the time sync protocol. But we have the tailoring, and therefore there is a protocol specification for AUTOSAR. I think it's important to read that. It's currently also in the IEEE. They're discussing about an automotive profile. There is then also maybe this PRS relevant. We need to see how this is working in detail.
Okay. Then again for Stefan, I hope your micro is now okay. It's a question related to hardware acceleration. For hardware accelerator concept, how does it handle AUTOSAR math and interpolation libraries?
Okay, the Chronos interface is designed as an API to get the usual tasks. Please calculate that or any update states. And how does it handle math and interpolation libraries? Yeah, that is in some way vendor specific because it depends on the hardware itself, how it can produce the best results in a short time. So the Chronos implementation that shall make up a major part of the accelerator is in itself a library extended by vendor-specific parts, and it can be seen as a math interpolation library itself, because it shall especially use the hardware to provide the results. So let's see this part as a library itself that uses hardware for such computations like interpolation or other math operations.
Okay, thank you. Now I have a question for Thomas. Will AUTOSAR explore some opportunities in other domains, for example, drones, learn from it to improve AUTOSAR and in the end, automotive in the future?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the presentation, we are supporting, of course, the usage of AUTOSAR also in other domains, but we have excluded the ultra-hazardous applications. And unfortunately, there is also the aviation listed as ultra-hazardous, and we have ongoing discussion in AUTOSAR how far we can then finally support the usage of AUTOSAR in drones. So we have not a final opinion here in AUTOSAR. But it is also clear, it would be an opportunity also for AUTOSAR to learn for the automotive future. Yeah, that's very clear.
We have to see. Okay, then the next question is again for Stefan, but probably even for Oliver. It's about the Ethernet signal format for time data when transmitting time information over an Ethernet network. What is the format of these signals?
Yeah, UTC is one option for this time for time base, and what is again the
Signal format for an Ethernet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
So it's the GPTP IEEE format at the end, and at least the extension of AUTOSAR is that we can have multiple different
sources
time sources transmitted exactly. So one is from the GPS, for example, the GPS clock, so it's UTC format, but it could be, of course, also that we have the vehicle car time. This is also quite often use case. So it's really the operational time of the vehicle as a second time source. And depending on that, the time format looks different. So, but usually it should be UTC based or based on the GPTP protocol. Yeah.
So also the next question deals with StbM. How does StbM ensure the integrity and accuracy of time data over Ethernet? Stefan?
But you mean the integrity that it is safe again? That is
I think
ASILB. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
for this reason, we exactly have this time validation to provide an ASIL integrity that the validation shall provide this integrity of the time. But I think that was not the intention of the questioner.
No, it's also, I think, in addition, the accuracy of the time data.
The accuracy is requested by RS by 1 nanosecond. So that is requested
that's
in
not possible at the end. So in realistic is 40 nanoseconds, which is already quite good, but the resolution is 1 nanoseconds. But the accuracy we can reach is about 40, 50 nanoseconds or something. And you need to have for the accuracy hardware support, but this is also derived from the IEEE. You have a hardware timestamping in the Ethernet controllers, and they are using exactly, or they are the precision of these hardware timestamps is at the end the precision of the whole timesync protocol.
Okay. Oh, thank you. The next question goes to Pingley.
Additional
yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, additional
information that the TSN concept in this release introduces some measures to increase the accuracy. Hardware timestamping for that.
Okay. The next question is also for you, Pingley. If we have a new concept that we have developed in our project and we think it could be standardized and introduced into AUTOSAR, how can we propose this? How bring you in as a partner so new concepts?
If you want to drive this concept, the prerequisite would be you have to be a partner with contribution right. Like premium partner, co-partner, development partner, or attendee, you could bring in the concept. We would also highly recommend you to find someone also could support you in the concept group, and then contact the QA. Then QA will send you the templates for concept briefing, where you state the motivation and objectives, the scope of the concept, why you want to introduce this concept, and which software platform will be affected, whether you would have new SWS, new documents, or any other documents, existing documents will be impacted in this way. And then some one-pager in a nutshell to describe your intention and also the architecture. And with this, this will be then hand over normally to project leader team, where we would have co-partners and premium plus partners sitting there, and to have a initial consideration whether this is suitable for AUTOSAR standardization, whether it's beneficial for that, whether it's more application features, level features, or hardware features. Then if we also to see whether some other partners would also see the same benefit for that. Then the project leader team will give an approval whether this concept can be introduced in AUTOSAR. With this approval, then QA would send the announcement of this new concept to the all working groups, and then later the discussions in all working groups and affected working groups will begin. Yeah, things like this. But for any information regarding concept introduction, we have process properly defined in AUTOSAR. Please contact us. Any concept introduction is highly welcome. And another information for if you want to have your concept incorporated in next release, then the deadline is 2nd of February next year.
Thank you, Pingley. Now it's 2 questions for the security topics. So they go to Florian and Ahmed. First one is, which protocol is going to be used between the firewall and IDSM for sharing SEVs?
Yeah.
IDS protocol is question mark.
Yeah, I'll take that. So yeah, you're right. Is the IDS, because we different OEMs until now have come up with different combinations for implementing firewall and intrusion detection systems together. So to standardize this, the proposal from our side is to use both the firewall and the AUTOSAR IDSM module. So in this case, the firewall will act or can act, if it's configured like that, as an IDS sensor to generate security events using the interfaces provided by IDSM. So then the IDSM module receives these SEVs and further processes them to generate qualified security events. So they when thinking of the concept, one of the use cases thought for this was exactly this one, that security events can be derived from the firewall rule set and can be configured within the firewall to be reported to IDSM. So it acts like any other IDS sensor. So yeah, your hint was good with the IDS protocol.
Good. Why do we need some IP ACL if we already have things like IPSec, MACSec, or SecOC? Probably Ahmed is.
Yeah. Yes. First, I will divide it to 2 main points. For IPSec and MACSec, actually those are already used as authentication mechanism. We add to them the authorization, because here we are speaking about ECU in the network trying to access more services, trying to provide more services or consume more services. So it is already a part from the network. So those IPSec and MACSec used for authentication, one of the possible way actually, and we add to them the authorization. For SecOC, actually SecOC, if you look for the classic platform architecture, SecOC not covering the service discovery module. Service discovery messages not covered by SecOC. And SecOC also to be used for authentication or to be used to link the data with the client, you need key per data element. So this will lead to a very big amount of data. And as I mentioned, it is also not covering the service discovery module. This is why, we add this.
So the next question goes also to you. What kind of interface is the Service Discovery ACL Update API?
Yeah. Okay, we don't define a specific type. We define a function which we can be called by the upper layer to update the ACL. We'll take the service instance ID, service ID, and shall it remove or add IP address to this ACL. How this request will be sent, how it will be verified, this is not standardized, and we have several options. As I mentioned, secure diagnostics or a specific request, specific signed request. So this is open yet. But the idea is the way the ACL will be updated for some IP ACL might be in the future standardized to a way to update not only some IP ACL, but actually others, maybe updating the rule for firewall, have general way to update the access control list inside of the network. So this might happen in the future.
So the next question also goes to you. So many questions for you. To update it, will SD need to interact with low-level drivers to write it to non-volatile memory or to retrieve it after PORST, P-O-R-S-T?
Yeah, I think he mean bar reset. So yes, we will interact with NVM module. Actually, we already define NVMe block for the allowed consumer ACL and allowed provider ACL. We already define NVMe block to them. And yes, for more details, actually about how those details, yeah, you can have a look in chapter 7.9 in SD document. We describe this more. But yes, we will already define a block in NVM to resist those data.
So the next one also for you. With this new SD functionality, will the startup behavior, initial wait phase, repetition phase, and main phase become obsolete?
No. First, the old approaches still exist. The auto offer, the auto subscribe will still. You have the two options to auto offer and auto subscribe, and to control it by the application and make it at any point of time. And also, this initialization phase is related to how service discovery itself initialize it. Now we are trying to control it to offer and subscribe in a specific point of time. And yeah, so the general answer is no, nothing will be obsolete, and those are something different a little bit.
Okay, thank you. So next one goes to Oliver. Is it possible to implement the operating system with any Linux distribution?
Quite a simple answer. Theoretically, yes. Practically, you need to talk to your stack vendor, because at the end, if you look to the market, what the market realized is that a Linux is not, or each Linux distribution has different performance points. And also, if you go to other operating systems like Unix, VxWorks, or something, you also need to maybe use more native APIs of the OS to get the performance which is required by the automotive industry. So therefore, in theory, AUTOSAR is abstracting all the POSIX stuff in this automotive extensions, but at the end, it depends really on the concrete implementation. And quite often, there is a kind of OS abstraction from the stack vendors optimizing the calls to the operating system just to gain the correct performance reasons and so on.
Thank you, Oliver. The last one goes also to you. What is the difference between the role of metamodel in adaptive platform and classic platform?
So the meta model itself is really the whole model of AUTOSAR. So this is really across the AUTOSAR standards, AP, FO, and CP. So it's one model we have. But of course, in CP, there are specific things. So we have for the M2, so for the design level, I would say, the system template, which is mainly driven by the vehicle manufacturers. So where they can distribute this top-down approach, I said, so with the communication metrics. So, and hey, this ECU need to provide this and this services, this and these signals, and so on. This is the system template level. In Classic, we have in addition the software component template, which is dealing with software components. So this is my application and how the application is designed. How is the system border of the application? Do I use NVM, so and non-volatile access or not, and so on. That's system template. In adaptive, we said, okay, we want to have just one design model and also one deployment model together. So that's currently called manifest, which is combining this both. Of course, there is a different aspect. So the software component template is not in that detail because we don't have the internal behavior of processes and so on of executables designed here in the adaptive platform. Therefore, there is differences and some things are different models. So if I look to the service and communication, there is still discrepancy between the modeling in CP and AP. So there are always differences. But beyond the manifest and so on, we have further templates. There is this diagnostic extract to deal with the diagnostic information. We have a security extract to deal with the security information. We have a DLT extract to deal with the log and trace non-volatile messages. That's all combined later on in the meta model.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver, for this answer. And now for those who have not issued questions right now, you will have a chance to send them by email if you have, after finishing the release event, some questions which occur. So please feel free to send it in, and we try to answer them. So we have come to the end of our release event for this year. I hope you got a lot of new insights and you could experience that AUTOSAR is progressing and meets all the upcoming new challenges. I would like to thank you, our audience, for your interest and participation, and all our speakers for their great contributions. AUTOSAR is a huge community, and our success is based on your devotion and commitment. But before I finally conclude, I would mention we have next year a wonderful opportunity to meet with each other. That's the AUTOSAR Open Conference in June at Tokyo, and the ticket sale is open. So please book if you plan to go to the AOC. Book your tickets. I think. I don't know whether the early booking price is still valid, but I think a good opportunity is to book quite soon. So, and if you have done so, I look forward to meet you at Tokyo. And for the coming days, I wish you some quiet days. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thank you for your participation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.